Welcome back to another episode of the Truck Show podcast, recorded from the Pod Shed in lovely Huntington Beach, California, where it is currently 70 and sunny outside. And while I'm a little bit jealous of those of you getting a white Christmas, I do have to let you know there's a tree in my front yard that has changed the color of its leaves. So not all is lost here in Southern California. And at night it gets down into the 40s here at the beach, so it does feel a little wintry. I wonder how many of you guys are saying, that's not winter, Holman. Well, just for us. Anyway, with the annual SEMA show behind us, it's time to get caught up with our normally scheduled programming. And I've got a lot of bank content to get to, so we'll start ripping through that and hopefully end the year off nice and strong. So in this episode, you get to join me as I head out to Johnson Valley, California at the invite of Ford and RTR to attend the second annual Bronco Golf Invitational. But before we get into it, we have to thank our awesome sponsors. And as you know, the Truck Show podcast is proudly brought to you in partnership with AMSOIL, the maker of the best synthetics and the same ones we use in our rigs. If you're still wondering what to buy for the holidays, well, AMSOIL has new merch just for you, including new t-shirt designs. And from now until December 31st, please take advantage of AMSOIL's holiday offer. Spend $125 or more on synthetic oil, lubricants, greases, car care products, and yes, even merch, and get the AMSOIL Blocks UTV set for free. If you want to check it out, head to our Instagram at Truck Show Podcast. I have a great reel. You can see just how involved this is. I don't know how many pieces, but it's hundreds. It's lots. And it was a lot of fun to put together. So if you want the AMSOIL Blocks UTV set for free, use the promo code Holman2025 at checkout on AMSOIL.com with an order of $125 or more. We use AMSOIL products to protect our rigs, and you should too. And while you're still figuring out what to get those last few people left on your shopping list, well, why don't you consider getting yourself or those loved ones a brand new Kershaw knife for 40% off MSRP. This includes automatics, and the code can be used more than once. Kershaw has an extensive lineup with knives ranging from EDCs you won't be afraid to abuse to premium made-in-the-USA knives you'll want to share with your friends. Feel free to share the promo code with your friends as well. Write this down or take note. The code is 2TSP2025. Get that holiday shopping crossed off your list today at kershaw.kiusa.com. OVR Magazine also makes a great gift. If you want the latest in adventure, gear, and upgrades for your vehicle, go to OVRmag.com and use the code at Truck Show Podcast for a discount on print or a 1-year digital subscription for free. Please help me to keep the Truck Show Podcast free by supporting our sponsors or leaving reviews on Apple or Spotify. And don't forget to check the TruckShowPodcast.com website for the latest deals.
The Truck Show. We're gonna show you what we know. We're gonna answer what the truck, 'cause truck rhymes with the Truck Show. We have the lifted, we have the lowered, and everything in between. We'll talk about trucks that run on diesel, electricity, and on gasoline. The Truck Show, the Truck Show, the Truck Show. Oh, oh.
It's the Truck Show with your host, Holman.
All right, let's get started. Excited to get to some new content. So as I mentioned, in this episode, I head out to Johnson Valley, California. In fact, I was there just about a week ago and joined Ford and RTR in their attempt to merge two sports into a new sport. Say what? So here's the description. I got an email from Ford that said, hey, we've got this thing going out. It's in SoCal in the desert. We'd love for you to come out and cover it. Get a chance to talk with Dave Rivers from Ford and Vaughn Gittin Jr., who I saw him at SEMA, didn't have a chance to do an interview with. I was thinking, that's great. So the email comes and says, Ford and RTR are creating a new sport, merging the popularity of off-roading with the growing trend of recreational golf challenges in a whole new landscape. We're bringing an epic, experiential golf experience driven by Bronco to Johnson Valley, and you're invited. Featuring Vaughn Gittin Jr., Lauren Healy, Bailey Campbell, a trio of pro golfers and an array of golf influencers. We're hosting a Bronco Scramble in the 3-hole par 12 course featuring technical crawls, high-speed desert runs, challenging dunes, and the most capable golf cart ever. Join us as we redefine the phrase, ready, golf. Says day one introduces guests and participants to 3 of the most unique holes of golf ever imagined. Golf influencers team up with Bronco owners and members of the media to experience the Bronco, an untamed, barren expanse that's Johnson Valley. Participants will traverse huge elevation changes, blistering speed, technical rock crawling, and that's just getting to the holes. Each hole offers a unique and extreme environment designed to test man and machine. A par 3, par 4, and par 5 hole give golfers different challenges meant to push the limits of their game. All right, so here's the deal. We got to use Broncos as golf carts to chase these, Pro-Am golf influencers, and it was led 3 groups, one by each of the professional drivers. So Bailey Campbell was there, Vaughn Gittin Jr., and Lauren Healy, each leading a group. And we went up to 3 different holes. One was like on a whooped out section. One was in a slot canyon with a hard right-hand turn and rocky hills. And I'm sure you can only imagine what it must be like to find a golf ball after you've hit it and it's bounced 100 yards away off some rocks on a desert hillside and then hopefully sticks in some sand somewhere near the tee. My favorite hole was our final one where they took a Bronco with the RTR Rover package on it and a roof rack, and they had put AstroTurf on the roof rack. And that was the tee box. And it was actually articulating on some rocks. So it was off center and down. And the golfers were like, I feel like I can't hit it as hard because I'm going to fall. It was pretty wild. So the whole point of this is apparently in 2026, the Pro League Network is taking the day. So I was there for day 1, the media part. The day 2 was the pro golfers and the racers challenging each other, and they're doing a content series, and that'll be on the Pro League Network sometime in 2026. So keep your eyes out for that. Anyway, to facilitate my observation of the golf tournament, I was also able to spend the day driving a brand new Bronco freewheeling package on a 4-door, and it was Sasquatch 35s, the Bill Steins, and I was chasing the golfers around Johnson Valley, and I got to drive it both on and off-road, so stay tuned to the end of this episode for a truck review there. And then I also connected with Ford's Dave Rivers to have a conversation about Bronco, and RTR founder and race driver Vaughn Gittin Jr. as he takes us for a ride in the latest RTR Bronco creation. So let's start with Dave. All right, so I'm sitting in a brand new freewheeling Bronco with Dave Rivers. And what's your job title now at Ford?
Yeah, so I'm the head of our enthusiast brands.
It's a pretty important job.
It's a fun job, like super fun. Like it's Bronco Sport, and Mustang. And, they're really passion products.
Yeah.
For us, really for our owners.
That's, some would argue, if you had to have the ability to touch any product in the portfolio, those are the ones.
Right? Yeah, each nameplate plays a specific role for us. But for our product lines, it's like people truly love to be behind the wheel or in a vehicle like a Bronco, like the one we're sitting in, or the ones all around here. Same can be said for Mustang.
So it's been a while since you and I worked together, and I don't know, this story hasn't really been told that much, but I was part of a panel for almost 5 years, and that was during the Bronco development. You brought some industry people in, and I was lucky enough to be one of those people who helped kind of guide the Bronco, and here we are. Is this model year 4 or 5 into Bronco, and just seeing I haven't driven a regular Bronco in a while. I drove a Raptor last year, and on a Bronco owner's trip to Colorado and back, and it was great. But I hadn't been in the standard Bronco, so we're in a freewheeling. This is a Sasquatch. This is a 4-cylinder. So I've driven the Ranger with the 2.7. This is the new MCE 2.3 liter. And what's special about that is even though it has the exact same displacement as the old one, this is a completely new engine family with your, I guess, modular cylinders. And you don't have to agree or nod or blink twice or anything, but what I heard was the rating is the same on Ranger and Bronco as the outgoing 2.3, but the capability of the engine, you can see the power numbers on Mustang, is a lot higher. And to be honest, other than engine note, it felt really close to the V6.
Really interesting that you picked up on that.
So I can imagine there's room for improvement. If somebody at Ford Performance wanted to do something, there's some overhead on the engine. I would guess that there's two things at play. Probably one is not to encroach too high into V6 territory, but also durability off-road and truck use. You probably don't want it to be as high-strung as you could get away with in the Mustang.
Yeah, right, exactly. I think you're spot on. And it gives us a lot of flexibility on what to do with it. It can go higher if it needs to, and it gives us just a great, really solid product offering. Like you said, you're on 35s here. My wife's got the Heritage Edition, also the 2.3. It's got so much capability, but it has Sasquatch on it, and it's a phenomenal engine that gives us a lot of room.
I'm really impressed. I don't always love the smaller displacement, boosted engines, and more durability dependent applications, but I've been nothing but impressed driving this today. So we started the Bronco industry expert panel.
Yeah.
We saw the original bucks that were foam.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how far back we were. Before the clays, before the design was even finalized, we would go back to Dearborn a couple times a year. We'd have some video chats. And we really helped kind of guide it to where it was launched. And then beyond that, it's back within the walls of Ford.
Yeah.
But I have noticed just in driving this, the amount of tiny details, the fit and finish, some of the like the gauge cluster design now, where
all digital. Yeah.
All digital. It doesn't have the bar graph for the tack. It has a sweep, which I like better for off-roading.
I do too. Yeah.
Just the way things feel, the how much more quiet it is. I feel like you guys have done a lot of incremental improvements since I last was kind of engaged with this product.
Yeah. Well, just going back in time, so 2026, which launches in January, that'll be our 6th model year, right? So we had 21, 22, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're 6 model years in.
That's crazy. It doesn't seem like it's been that long.
No, right? And then if you go backwards from that, when we picked up having you part of our expert panel, gosh, that was like 2016 or something like.
Yes,
like think about that.
Started way back then.
Yeah, and
so we're 10 years ago plus something like that from when we were engaged in kind of getting this product back to market. And every time I see one, it's funny. People will ask me, well, do you know anything about Bronco? And I was like, yeah, just a little bit, You know
everything. You know all of the inside from back then. And I think what's so cool is we listen to people like you and our expert panel, the Dave Coles of the world. We listen to our dealers. We listen to customers, thousands and thousands of research hours to bring out at least the first iteration. And if you can believe, we've already had a turn on it. So you mentioned things that we've improved. NVH, right? So things like changing out the tire offering to get a little bit quieter tire. We put more insulation on the inside of it. We heard a lot from rear passengers on needing rear vents, right?
So vents now.
Yeah, so we have that in the back. And we continue to evolve what it is. So in 2025, you recall, in 24, we brought out the 2-door strop.
So if you looked around, Bronco Raptor to me is a little bit different than Bronco. Yeah. It serves a different purpose. It's a performance model. It's an icon. It's a kind of top echelon. It's an aspirational type vehicle. Not everybody's gonna.
It's our apex.
Yeah, and it has a completely different chassis, and it's like a Ultra 4 car that you could put a license plate on, and it's just so different. So take away that from this discussion. But one of the things I've always loved Bronco heritage. Strop was always something that growing up as a kid, you would see one, you would know the color scheme's very, very unique, and you get a little strop badge, on the fender, and car shows or Bronco Place or whatever, they pop up from time to time.
Yeah.
I was so stoked when you guys did the strop, and I believe now it's the only way to get a 2-door V6, right?
It is.
Okay.
Yep.
And it comes with Sasquatch on it.
You get Sasquatch standard. You get Haas 3.0, so you get the better suspension, the highest suspension. But the interesting thing about it, Sean, is that we saw there's so much of a move to 4-door.
Yeah.
So in 26, we just launched the 4-door strop, right? So we're gonna sunset the 2-door and we're gonna shift to a 4-door just because of the appeal.
Yeah.
We saw the opportunity, as you mentioned. Heritage is so important to us. We don't want to look back. We're always looking forward, but paying tribute to what got us to where we are. But the appeal to a 4-door is that much bigger. We just wanted to open the market up and give people more of that. So it'll have everything, all the design cues that the 2-door had, and all of the capability.
There's just a purity to the 2-door, and I know we even talked about this back when the development team was in process and the expert panel was in process, and I still think that the 2-door, especially roofless, it hits Bronco bullseye.
Yeah.
It's hard with the 4 doors to get the proportions just right. Obviously, they look great on 37-inch tires and all that. But some of the things that I did love, I still do, and I kind of forgot about because I hadn't been in one in a while, is the trail sights on the leading edge of the hood. off-roading today. And then you forget on the higher trims, there's such a great camera ecosystem. This one doesn't have the front camera, and I found myself missing it going over the hills and things like that. And it's funny how you become reliant on that technology. Before you wouldn't care, but it's amazing how you don't realize those little things impact your ability to crawl without getting yourself into trouble and being out on your own, because it's like having a spotter. And your cameras are really good because they're very high definition, and the screen's a very high definition screen. So it's easy to pick out obstacles and rocks and things like that. And a lot of other little things I love about Bronco. The fact that you have at the base of the windshield a power port.
Yes.
And so you can plug in your radar detector, your dash cam or whatever. The aux switches are on the ceiling in this, so it doesn't take up dash space. Just a lot of those little things that are great. And then, of course, trail turn assist. This has it. So this package is missing over the higher end package like Baja mode and sway bar disconnect, but it does have a front and rear locker. It has trail turn assist, and it has, I think, maybe 6 or 7 goat modes on it. So I was playing with them out when we were out rolling around out there. And this one, I think, stickers around 58, and it's a lot of capability for the money.
And it's interesting you just mentioned it, because it's built off of our Big Bend. We start with kind of a Big Bend, and then we built off of it. But it's like, what are all the things that people want that get, like you just said, most of the capability that they're ever going to use? And you hit on all of them with trail turn assist, with rear lockers. This one has front lockers on it. Interesting, you say the port for powering. Blake from Alabama, one of our owners, he showed me his. He's got all of his cameras set up here, and he's got the rail up there, right? So and then plug in, So I think that like stuff like that, but that came by way of us listening to people like you. Like, I just remember those conversations. Hey, have you guys thought about this?
Well, I remember one of the ones we talked about that I was really, kind of hell-bent on was make the wiring gauge big enough to the rear power so that your fridge
100%.
Doesn't think you have a voltage drop and then not keep your, snacks cold or your drinks cold. And I mean, those are the types of details that we got into. Like, what do owners want to see? What are the little things that will make the experience better? And it just keeps getting better with Bronco. Now, selfishly, I'm sad that we weren't able to push Coyote into the platform. I know that was something that was talked about and tried. The 3-liter V6 twin turbo and the Raptor is obviously a really special engine. And, and now this 2.3 and the 2.7 are pretty darn impressive. And spent a lot of time over the years with various drivetrains, and they're all good. There's not like one where you go, stay away from that one on it. And you guys have done a great job. And the 10-speed is so much more refined. And the other thing I'll say is on Bronco Raptor, one of the most impressive things about it is how dialed your traction control and goat mode systems are. We were up in the San Juan Mountains and I was using trail turn assist because we were going up switchbacks, right, with really tight ones. So I was playing with that, and then the different modes, and there are other vehicles around us that were doing a lot of wheel slip, and I was just walking up in that because it was so dialed. And I think that's one of the things that Ford's done a great job of bringing to the Bronco platform is all of the modes that I think originated probably in F-150 maybe, and
a lot of them did.
Explorer maybe,
And as you say that too, we're out here at an owner event. We have some newer owners that's one thing that, again, you guys pushed us, was make it easy, right? So I remember having these conversations around the dial and making the dial just change for you rather than have to in and out with a bar. And it just so happened that we were able to brand name it the goat modes, goat system, right? Goes over any terrain. Which harkens back to the original code name of Bronco, but just that encouragement by the panel to make it easy, right? Just think about all the, and I will tell you, I hear that so often from owners is, I'm new into this space, I just wanted it to be easy, and you guys made it easy by way of whether it's that, like you mentioned, gauge wiring, so that, and Justin from Vancouver, he showed me his back end and how he's got power back there. He powers his lights, powers his refrigerator, and we're seeing way more of that even now, is the back end being used for storage, and it's the next iteration of kind of how we're thinking about this. And it sort of stays
there all the time, right? Like
all the time.
Like rather than having an open storage for whatever, people are saying, no, I got drawers and cubbies in my fridge, live here full time because this is my adventure vehicle.
100%.
It's interesting 100%. Too. This is one of maybe the second no, it's probably more than that because I've been to some off-rodeos as well. Maybe the 4th or 5th owners event that I've been with Bronco with you guys.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you get a lot of owners who are new,
Yeah.
never been off-road.
Uh-huh.
And even today we were talking to some people,
Yeah.
and they're like, we're going over that, right? And they don't,
Right.
they may think it's cool, they've always wanted one, whatever the case may be, but it's pretty fun to watch a new owner conquer an obstacle and then be like, I can't even believe I just drove over that.
I just went up that.
Yeah.
I like the trepidation maybe in it. You could see it in their eyes, right? And we had some new people out trailing with us today, and you could see it in their eyes. But once you walk them through it, and we got, of course, great spotters, but the vehicle does it.
Yeah.
We're teaching them 1-pedal drive. Like, you could do 2-pedal, but we've got a mode that you just hit a button and it goes automatically into 1-pedal for you. So
you just work the gas.
You just work the gas,
Yeah.
right? Trail control, right? Up and down, so it's that off-road,
cruise control
for the off-road, right? And I think that's what I love is when you get somebody out here that's never done it, and they have that new appreciation. Justin, again, from Vancouver, he was telling me this morning that I never did this stuff.
And this isn't
5
his
years
backyard
ago.
type of terrain either, right? We're in Johnson Valley in the middle of whoops and rocks and washes and completely varied from forest roads and things like that. And
100%.
And he's out having a blast.
And they drove
great to
down
see.
from Vancouver, which is what, about a 20 or so
Yeah,
hour
something
drive,
like that,
right? And I think that's the thing that we're seeing more of is the community. We've got we've grown our Bronco Nation members, like the number of people in Bronco Nation to over 120,000.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
It's awesome, and it's so much fun. We do events at we'll do a big event at King of the Hammers again this year, and we'll invite several hundred owners in. We did Raptor Rally that the team's done now 2 years in a row,
and that's one of those kind of like the 3 tenets were A, get it right,
Yep.
B, build community, and C, have it accessory ready. Those are sort of the things that when we were involved in kind of helping you build out the business plan or what the marketing and go-to-market plan would be, those were some things to focus on. So here we are 6 years after launch, and you have this community, and it's kind of fun to see the Bronco versus Jeep guys and stuff, and that little bit of that, and it's always fun to have that kind of adversary on the trail, and the Toyota guys are like, wait, what about us? But I feel like you've kind of leapfrogged a lot of those guys, right?
Yeah, we're enjoying that part. You mentioned, we were chatting earlier today about SEMA.
Yeah.
Even at SEMA now, we see way more people with their own customized Bronco, and doing their own thing to it. You mentioned accessorization. We're seeing way more people accessorize than we ever thought before. And again, a push from the expert panel. It's like, things that you mentioned, trail sites, like use it for functional use, but use it as a tie down, use it to customize.
Even on the Bronco Sport, on it was the Badlands version, you got the ones that kind of pop out from the side to tie down the front of your kayak or something. I thought those were so smart. The metal bumpers, it's fun to see some of the real kind of features and tech from the big Bronco trickle down to the Sport, because I was out on the Sport launch for 25, I don't know.
Early this year.
And it was about 9 months ago.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe how capable those things were off-road. And if you're trying to out Subaru and take that owner and be like, listen, we can give you that kind of efficiency, but we can give you way more capability than you're going to get from that. The high-end off-road trims on that little SUV are quite impressive off-road. And it's like, that and Maverick. I wanted to hate Maverick. Oh, it's just going to be like a Honda original. It's a unibody pickup truck. I can't hate Maverick. I love Maverick. And Mike gave me one for a time for a media loan and said, just fill it up, fill your bed up. Let's just go use it.
Yeah.
And I was like, for the right person, this is the perfect vehicle.
Truck.
And to see that in Bronco Sport on the same platform.
Yep.
Two completely different user bases, but people out using them. See them out in the wild. You see them out on the trail.
Yep.
And I'm glad that Ford is sort of taking that off-road heritage and doubled down into maybe non-traditional off-road markets. And all of a sudden, you see they're becoming more mainstream.
There's two things that we picked up in the 5 years that Bronco's been in market. One is our owners use the vehicle at rates almost 15, 16 points higher than our competition. And that speaks volumes, I think, from vehicle, like what the vehicle's capable of, but what the people want to do with it. So I mean, that's a lot of, meaning I bought the vehicle for its capability, but I actually use the capability. You go down to Bronco Sport, it's even higher than that, meaning our next closest competitor, it pales in comparison to the capability we give somebody to use a Bronco Sport with. You mentioned, like, we brought Sasquatch down to Bronco Sport. We have you have a Black Diamond package now on it, just like we had for Bronco. But people use it for the capability, and it doesn't mean that I go hardcore off-roading per se. It's just like I want to go enjoy the mountains.
Totally. I've sold a couple of those for you because somebody came to me, they're coming from a Crosstrek XUV, and they're like, I want to go rock climbing or mountain biking, or it may not be the adventure, but it's the facilitator of the adventure, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm looking for a small, efficient SUV. I can only have one car. It needs to get 30 miles to the gallon, so I still need all that, but I want to be able to go down a more hairy dirt road than I can today, or I want to be able to go down a 2-track with some ruts, and I need better traction or capability, and I'm like, go look at a Bronco Sport. The people that have bought Bronco Sports for their use case have absolutely loved it and use it for exactly that. And they, go to Moab and go to some of the unimproved campgrounds that might be 2 miles off the highway. No problem. Going rock climbing or rafting where you have to go past the trailhead to get into a secret spot or whatever the case, yet they're still getting their 30 miles per gallon when they hop on the highway on the way home.
100%. You're spot on. Like, that is, I feel like that is the customer. That's what they use it for. Kayaks on the top, bikes on the back, fully geared out, and they're actually using it. That's what we love, is they're using the vehicle for what it's intended. We're sunsetting Escape, but we've got this really great, well-positioned Bronco Sport. It's priced right. It's at the heart of the small utility segment.
The tech is really good. Standard big screen, all that is really nice.
We upgraded all that for $25. We went through. We listened to customers again. It's like they told us that your interior technology needs an upgrade, so we did. Bigger screen, all digital. We doubled down on some capability, and we gave them some other. Like, we brought Heritage down to Bronco Sport. It's doing very well. The 1.5 does really well. Our 2-liter does well. It's just like.
Yeah,
we've got this nice little offering,
and you have everybody wants to be in that space. Have the Korean manufacturers teasing.
Yeah,
Hyundai has their HRT, Kia has their thing.
Yeah.
You've got some of the Japanese manufacturers like Toyota now with a more, adventure-ready RAV4.
Yeah,
and you're going, okay, that's great, but I think you guys still have the credibility of really entertaining people in that space.
Yeah,
without, not every car needs to go on an overlanding adventure, but that's what the commercials are for everybody, right?
Sure. Yeah. We're all kind of, I think we all see the same thing in terms of the push. I think what's different about us is, like, for Bronco Sport, we offer the off-rodeo. We offer you Bronco Nation. We offer you all of this. We did it last year. We do it again this year. We invite Bronco Sport owners to join us at KOH 26. We do a different drive for them. And
this is all post-buying experience. It's not like they're buying it and you're walking away from them. You're trying to include them in the tent.
We want them in.
Yeah.
We want them to be part of Bronco. Every bit a part of the brand as anyone else. And that's what, I don't know, I was raised in the South, and I love just the hospitality of community. I love campfires. That was one thing that we said when we, and again, going back to the expert panel, when you said community, it's like, this thing about the campfire. It's like you go do the trail and then you sit around the campfire and you talk about it and you enjoy each other. And I guess there's just something in that our owners really love. They tell us about it, and so we want to do more of it. And we're doubling down. I mean, more of that to come.
Well, I mean, we're sitting here and there's probably 30 Broncos. Some are corporate owned, some are owner vehicles.
Yeah.
All different colors, all different design style. Where do you go from here? What's next for Bronco? Obviously, in the world of automotive, there's going to be a mid-cycle refresh at some point.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose the heritage, but you want to get modern with it. There's going to be, you look at Mustang and you look at Bronco, and they have heritage designs.
Sure.
How far can you take them to still be modern, but not shirk away the roots, what people like about it? I mean, that's got to be a really delicate balance as a car manufacturer to get that right.
Yeah. We, again, the one thing that I feel like the design team just absolutely nailed, we hear this from our owners, is the design is timeless. And, whether it's the round headlights, the one-piece grill, the flat surfaces, I don't see things like that changing. I think there's more of that. We hear a lot in most recently, our Heritage Edition. People love it. They love it. They love the white roof. They love some of the pastel colors that we've had, the white rims. So that's a super important
Not
piece for us.
very many people can get away with white rims from the factory.
I know, right?
It's
I know.
pretty cool.
My wife's got one, like I mentioned, and we get stopped all the time. She has the Robin's Egg Blue. We get stopped all the time. What color is that?
Yeah.
Those rims are amazing. Yeah. And so there's that. We just launched the 60th anniversary Bronco. It comes to market now, and orders are very strong. So we're enjoying that, like the 60 years of history, but going forward. I mentioned Strop as a 4-door. We're not here to share a whole lot more of what's going on, but I will say that our owners, I love the brand. I've been around the brand. This is my 31st year with Ford.
Wow.
I'm a second generation Ford employee. My father worked for Ford for 35 years. I was raised in a Mustang. We were going through old pictures at my mom's over Thanksgiving, and we've got a whole bunch of old pictures of he had a Boss. He had a Mach 1.
That's so cool.
It was so cool. And I see these things in our driveway, and then there's this picture of a Bronco. I'm like, Dad. And he's since passed away, so I was more like to my mom. I'm like, why did we get rid of all those, And she's like, well, we had 5 kids, right?
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. It's just like, it comes back to passion, enthusiasm. I mean, I love the brand. I love the company. We have a phenomenal team. One thing really quickly about our team, they listen. Pushes like what you guys, encouragement, really great direction, listening to that, but they come with us. Like we've got a whole line of designers, engineers, and wider program team members that'll be here again with us at KOH this year. They came last year. We do Bronco Safari at Moab in April. They came with us there. We're in front of a couple hundred Bronco owners, and we use it as focus group time to hear what's on their mind. What do they want? Differently, and it's like we're always looking to, make things better.
So one last question. I know this is sort of not necessarily a Ford thing, but curious from the Bronco accessory performance enthusiast guy's perspective. Yeah. We know that regulations are changing. We know that we have things like ADAS and things like that are coming into play. I'm guessing, and if you can answer it, that Ford is committed to still allowing their customers to accessorize, because that's such an important part of what we do, is allowing it to, look at all, not one of these Broncos is the same. But I know there's a lot of people that are worried that with ADAS and the manufacturers, not wanting the liability, that the ability to accessorize might not be there in the future. I know that's something that SEMA's working with the OEs on, but talking to you, clearly it's an important part of the business model 100%. And the plan.
Yeah. We, in fact, our former general manager of Enthusiast Brands, Matt Simpson, he now runs all of our vehicle personalization team. So they've elevated the role. It's critical to our company. There's tons of opportunity. We talked about SEMA earlier. You go there and you see everything. And so we see it as that's what our owners want, and we're growing in that space. It's great. Matt will be here at KOH. He'll have his team out here. We're gonna, we're not stopping. So awesome. We're all in.
Well, appreciate your time.
Yeah,
good to see you again.
Likewise, man. Thank you.
All right, so that was Ford's Dave Rivers. Great guy and really super passionate about the brand. Awesome to catch up with him. I hadn't seen him in, probably a couple years or so. So it was nice to catch up and kind of get a little of that insider perspective into where Ford goes from here. And next up, a ride along with Vaughn Gittin Jr. All right, I'm in a special vehicle. This is the RTR Rover, ROVR edition. And I'm in number 235, and it's got the dude who's driving's signature on the dash. What's up with that?
Yeah, dude.
So
welcome.
Dude, this is awesome. So I'm sitting with Vaughn Gittin Jr., and you guys have heard of him on the podcast before, but it's been a while since we checked in. I saw you and Lauren at SEMA. It was just a brief hello. But I'm out here with you and kind of this Bronco program. So, all right, this is the second year of this harebrained idea, and it was so crazy last year. Ford said, we're signed up for this year, and they made it bigger with all these owners and stuff. So, want to explain what we're doing out here?
Yeah, so this is the second annual Bronco Golf Invitational. So, last year, people would have saw the video for the first time. We came out with a smaller group and kind of tested this idea that I had of golf is such like a good vibe right now, and like I'm not a big golfer, but like outside looking in, like I really like the energy and the fun that everyone's like kind of, it's like a rebirth of it.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm like, what if we could like bring golfers out and the Broncos be their golf carts, and we give them like a gnarly like fish out of water experience. And so where else in the birthplace of Bronco and King of the Hammers is Johnson Valley.
So here we are. So we did 3 holes, and they're like between par 3 and 5 or something like that. And these things are basically in and out of washes, and one of the tee holes or tee. I don't even know golf. The tees where you start.
The tee.
Yeah. Anyway, it was on top of the roof of a Bronco.
Yeah. Yep. And so we had
tee box. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, we built a tee box on the top of the Rover, which was sick. We're just trying to like really, really surprise people.
They were surprised. I saw the golf influencers' faces because they were all cocky talk last night at dinner, and then they got out here and they're like, "Wait, what are we doing?" And they have their full golf bags, taking them out of the back of the Bronco, and you're going over like terrain. Whoops! By the way, Vaughn's driving us over some gnarly whoops in the Bronco. So you'll probably hear me going, "Bleh!" But it's pretty cool. So anyway, they're like on one side it's rocky crags, on the other it's like a sand dune, so you don't know if your ball's gonna stick if you slice or
they had no
bounce if you
idea.
hook. Oh, it's crazy.
It was great, and like you see them trying to like putt, and it goes an inch per hour. So it was super cool, and like the concept works. They all had a blast, and my favorite part of it, though, and one of my real passions, is sharing off-roading with people.
Yeah.
And so these people have never had dirt, tires on dirt.
Yeah.
And so we had them rock crawling, using all the goat modes.
Dude, it was awesome because they were like, I can't believe we're driving up that, right? Like you take some people who are obviously really good at what they do. They love golf. They're influencers. They're semi-pros, whatever. And then you put them in a Bronco and they've never done it before. And they're like, what do you mean we're driving over that? Like, where's the road? And you're like, that rocky trail, that's part of the Johnson Valley race course for KOH. And they're like, what? To see them stoked, because they have to go drive down the trail to get, again, golf cart, to get to where their ball lies, right?
Yeah.
It's so rad.
Yeah, they...
Side sloping.
It was sick. It was really, really sick to do this, and like, it's just nice to mesh worlds, you know, and that's kind of been, me, right? Bringing drift friends out to off-road, they all fall in love with it.
Totally.
And
well, some of the vehicle dynamics are the same, other than the bumps. But I mean, like chassis control, kicking the rear out, all that. I mean, that's all stuff that a drifter could get used to really quick in the right.
Oh yeah.
Deal. You got to pick your lines, of course, but I can see some crossover discipline there.
Oh yeah. Well,
obviously
the vehicle,
you did it.
Yeah. The vehicle placement and the comfortability of being loose.
Yeah.
Is really where that transcends.
So, okay, tell me about this vehicle that we're in. This is number 235. This is your Rover package. So you guys are known for doing RTR, especially the Mustang side.
Yep.
And now you've jumped into Bronco, and it's kind of a natural progression. You went from one of Ford's enthusiast icons to the next one. You guys are obviously dialed through your race team, through the Fun Havers, and you and Lauren are out there racing Broncos, and you're out drifting your Mustang. So tell me about this vehicle. Where did the idea come from, and like, what are you doing to this vehicle from you guys?
Yeah, so for those that don't know RTR, I started RTR in 2008 with Mustang, but my vision has always been to, we're only solely focused on Ford vehicles, not because Ford tells us to do that, but because it's my passion. And we started out with Mustang. We might have just saw we have a production Mustang coming out from Ford. And the way that our other Mustangs work, our spec Mustangs, they basically, we get them from the plant, we send them to our upfit partners, and then all the parts we've designed, engineered, and had manufactured get installed into like a package, if you will. So with Mustang, we have everything from appearance to just appearance all the way to fully adjustable suspension and 810 horsepower with a warranty. And very similar approach with Bronco. We actually were one of the first to have a complete Bronco package. We had early prototypes and data from Ford, and really almost had them available since they came out. And this is our latest package. This is the Rover. So this has a full roof rack, Very well built, engineered roof rack that we've done ourselves, like most all of our parts. And it's got our rock sliders, which have a kick out on them, super strong. You can
Good
drop
for
the truck
pivoting
on
off
them.
of them. Yeah.
Pivoting off rocks or trees in the trails. A good amount more body protection than the factory sliders. We've got our rear bumper on it that's got some hooks and mounts on it. Our rear tire carrier that's super sturdy. It also allows the rear tire to extend and you to put gear behind it if you want. There's a miler panel on the rear. It also has 37, so 37-inch Nitto Recon grapplers, Fox Performance Elite shocks, 2-inch lift, and that's it. Protection, got a light bar on it, so we got protection, roof rack, enhanced suspension, and it's fun for just about anything.
Basically set up to be your, like what I like to call Goverlanding.
That's it.
It's your go fast overlander.
Yep.
It's set up for adventure, but you don't have to crawl. This is more of a like, let's cover some ground and see some
Yeah.
cool stuff. And
Yeah.
that's the type of wheeling that I like to do. Is I like to camp, but I want to get there and do 100 miles in a day or something like that.
As we're chasing Lauren Healy and his Raptor.
So
right now.
so Lauren Healy, who is your race partner and famous off-road racer in his own right, is in front of us in a Raptor, and we are hanging with them in this Rover here, and it's pretty fun to watch the Raptor Special. It's got like 14 inches of travel, and you can just it's an Ultra 4 car that you put a license plate on. And here we are in kind of an overland sort of setup, and we're just hanging with them, and I'm watching all the vehicle and suspension movement and then feeling it in this vehicle. It's pretty rad.
Yeah, Lauren and I are partners. A lot of people don't know this, but, the RTR Vehicles Off-Road team, Lauren and I have been partners in that initiative now for going on 6-7 years. We just built a new 20,000 square foot facility in Farmington that backs up to BLM land, which will be doing an open house in the coming year. And we're just basically, enhancing the Bronco with the enthusiast in mind. Ford obviously has to, build a lot of vehicles for everyone.
Sure.
And we're getting a little bit more niche. We're offering full color paint. This vehicle is actually painted in Mistachrome, which is one of our premium extended color palette colors.
So that's a famous color that was on a Cobra for like 2 years. If you go to my Instagram or at Truck Show Podcast, threw a reel up of it at sunrise, and it literally goes from purple to amber to forest green to blue, depending on the light and the angle and the highlights and lowlights from the body panels. It looks sick. I never thought this would be a color that would look sick on a Bronco, and it totally works.
It works, yeah, and it's cool. Like being able to have the ability to do full paint. Is something that, obviously it'd be really tough for Ford to do the volume they need to, but because the volume that we're doing, our targets are, 1,000-ish units a year, we're able to get a little more granular with the customer. We're even doing paint to sample as an option. So someone wants any color, they can send us a chip, we send them back a speed shape colored, and then we get cranking. So yeah, it's a real honor. I'm still, RTR has grown so much more than I ever imagined. Like, I'm not surprised because I know how much work we've been doing.
Yeah, totally.
But it's like, our recipe has been very simple, and it's that cool shit wins.
Exactly.
And we just do the stuff that we love, and those that vibe with what we're doing are all about it. And we're all about the customer experience and taking our customers out on rides like this and just showing people the community and getting them immersed in the things that you and I love. This is a very special thing that we're able to do in America. And the more I travel the world, the more I see people wishing they could off-road and have the places we do. And it's so fun for me to share that.
We're so lucky, the fact that we have the ability to do this kind of stuff and all this public land to use and all that, and it's pretty rad. By the way, this is the gnarliest off-roading I've done since my accident, so this was sort of my welcome back Cotter moment right here. So I drove a little bit today, and the Bronco Ford gave me, and then getting a little e-ticket ride with you, pretty badass. But thanks for getting me back on the trail.
let's talk about how you did a golf today, bud. How was that?
So I didn't golf because my handicap is like 50 when there's windmills.
Okay.
And so it's like 200 out on this deal. I probably could have borrowed like a pitching wedge, but I saw the golf influencers who were with us pulling out like full-on golf bags. They're wearing golf shoes. We're in the middle of the desert. I'm like, yeah, that's different level from what I used to. So I purposely chose to just talk.
Almost as fun. Almost as fun on the course.
Well, I was thinking next year you could do a Bronco Polo, take the doors off, and you could have those polo sticks out the window and hit balls that way.
That would be a sick color,
right? Bronco Polo. And then I just had fun driving, and somebody would hit a ball toward us, and I'd be like, 4x4. So lots of golf puns and off-road puns, believe it or not. And we're just going over these whoopers right now. So this has the Fox shocks on it. I'm actually pretty impressed with bottom out control. It feels like there's a lot of valving toward the end of the travel on the stack because we're not blowing through the jounces, and you've hit some pretty big stuff, and it just sort of soaks it up.
Yeah, and this is our how we ship it. Because I like when I'm out and doing these types of things to experience it exactly as our customers. I mean, I've definitely signed off on it, but my point is it can get stiffer. Yeah. These are adjustable. These are the Podium Elite, so they have the low speed and high speed adjustability. And they work great. They are built in. You can get the 2-inch lift out of them, and they perform really well. They are definitely a upgrade. So I'm just really happy. We'll never put anything out with RTR on it that both myself and Lauren aren't super pumped on. And we have these. This is a Rover with the paint, which is the fully loaded everything, and we have packages that just you can get our suspension, our lighting, and or our protection, and then of course add the other things you want if you like.
And you can just go to rtrvehicles.com?
Yep, rtrvehicles.com. We have dealers all over the country, and we get vehicles, like I said, directly from Ford. Our upfit partner builds them, and it's really, really amazing to be able to create and supply these types of products to people that want to have fun with them.
So what's next for you? Obviously KOH is coming up in about another month and a half or so.
Yeah.
And you guys will be back. I'm sure you'll be out here before then, tuning and testing and stuff. Or
yeah, we got a big year planned. After this, I'm going on vacation, but then I get back, and we're on a full hammers focus. We've got a big year next year. We're doing hammers. We're doing some of the more desert races in the U.S., the Mint, Vegas to Reno.
I love the Mint, by the way. The Martellis, they do such a great job on that race.
Agreed.
It was. I went for the first time in a long time earlier this year. I guess it's in March, and I thought they just nailed it from an experience standpoint, being able to view the racing, all that stuff. Oh, we're looking at a left-hand turn, but because we had so much rain out here, there's a giant truck gobbler right in the middle, and there's no way
not with this.
We're making not unless we had 42s or something.
When Lauren Healy looks back and says,
should
we do this, Vaughn?
Yeah. By the way,
bad idea.
Lauren Healy, who famously has a video of him launching off of a waterfall straight down at King of the Hammers. What was that, like 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah. Funny story about that.
Yeah.
I followed him over that in the dark when we were practicing for qualifying.
Oh, no!
And it was fine. And I was planning on doing it.
Because it doesn't look fine from the video.
No. But in the dark, I didn't even know what we went down. It was just a big drop. And then I was like, all right, me and him were playing like we're both doing it in qualifying. Yeah. And I totally wimped out. I totally wimped out of it. I was like, man, it could go bad, and then I'm not starting in the back. So.
I just remember watching it in like the first half of the video. I'm like, this is where Lauren dies. And then he lands, and I'm like, oh my God! It's so cool.
Yeah, that's Lauren Healy, ladies and gentlemen.
It reminded me of that time Mel Wade rolled the Jeep. And then I think, I can't remember if it was Everyman or whatever, and got back on his wheels and went right back up. I mean, it's just like, it's crazy the amount of action that happens in that kind of racing because your vehicle has to be good at everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, speaking of being good at everything, Baja 1000 this year was...
You rapid took the photo.
It was my first.
That was your first 1,000?
That was my first 1,000.
No way.
How's
that possible?
Well, I did the 500 this year, blew the corner off my race truck. Yeah. As happens in Baja, which I learned. Yep. And I've just never done the 1,000 because I never
I mean, it's a big commitment, and
it's a big commitment.
You got to go with the right people because it's not easy. Like every time I've gone down there, I've been with a factory back team, and every time I've ridden or co-dogged, it was with a driver I knew or who had a factory back into the logistics of getting down there, the parts, the chasing, all that was already in place. It's really hard to be a privateer and go down there.
Yeah, and it was I didn't. If I'm going down there with Ford, like I'm giving them my all.
Yeah, totally.
And I didn't want to compromise it. And this year, I was like, all right, I'm committed. I'm in, and I pulled the rookie card and got the night stint.
I love night though. Night's my favorite to race.
It was my first at that level.
Dude, it's just, to me, the thing I love about night is if you have a good co-dog who's calling out the dangers and double dangers and stuff like that, and you can just drive. I like it because it's cooler. You don't have, you're only driving in the tunnel of light that you create. And it's just chill. Like there's just something about night that's just like magical out there. You're going across the playa at like sunset, and then just racing through the night. To me, that's so much fun.
Seeing the sun come up.
Oh, so badass.
And I was worried because I go to, I'm on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So I didn't get in the truck until 11 o'clock my time.
Oh, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
And sorry, I lied. 1 o'clock in the morning my time because it was 10.
10 there?
When
okay.
I got in it. And but I was so surprised at how well and how focused I was able to be, except for the last 45 minutes. Sun was up, and it was just getting to be like
a lot.
Yeah,
dude, it's punishing. You got to be an athlete to do it. People don't realize, you're just driving a car. No, it's hardcore. You're controlling your breathing, your thought process, your energy expenditure. You if you're a co-dog, you're getting out to run ahead to rabbit or to use a strap or help a teammate, and it's from an energy level, you're expending a lot of energy because you got down there, you're in crunch time, you're racing, and everything's under the clock, even when you're not on the course because you're chasing, trying to get to the next pit. It's intense, dude. It's intense for a week. It's one of the most incredible life experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, no, it was epic, and Ford had a 4 Raptor effort, one of the biggest efforts ever.
So crazy.
And we achieved the goals, and it was an honor to be a part of it.
I'll tell you a funny story. One year, I think it's Vegas to Reno. Chad calls me and says through GM, hey, we want to meet a guy in here. Do you want to race with us? And it was when they debuted the ZR2 or the Colorado ZR2, and I'm thinking, no way they're gonna have a backseater in that one, so I'm in because I turned down all the backseat stuff. And Fouts had called me and he goes, hey, I'm racing a Raptor. You want to come, ride with me? I'm like, front seat or back seat? He goes, back seat. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be balanced.
Nah, dog.
Screw you, dude. I'm too old. If I'm gonna do that to my body, it's gonna be because I want to be a part of it and win, not because I just want to go on a ride along. Yeah, I want to be part of it. And so he's like, all right, whatever, And so it was hilarious because he sees me, and I get there, and Chad's truck has a rear seat. And I'm like, no way. And it had an X-Brace FIA case, so there's no room for my legs. Vouch is like, you could have been in mine with air conditioning and a windshield. It's like, damn, dude. So I got snookered once and missed my Raptor ride.
Sick.
Dude, that was awesome. So we're over in the sand dunes on the west side of the valley. I just got to say thank you for... I can't believe we did an interview through that whole whooper section. Oh, man, and Lauren just took off on us.
Oh, yeah, he's going to sail a jump here in a minute. I know him too well.
All right, well, I'm going to let you drive. Thanks for the time of the interview, and can't wait to spend some more time in one of these things.
Yeah, we're going to get one dropped off to you.
Be awesome.
You'll have fun with it.
Yeah, it'll be great. And, dude, I'm so stoked for your success and seeing how you've grown RTR over the years, and it's awesome to see you turning out like cool products that actually work and are enthusiast focused. And as an enthusiast, I definitely appreciate that.
Thank you, my man. Well, glad you had fun and came out and hang out with us today.
All right, so as you can tell, I had a good time with Vaughn there. It was great. We were just having a conversation while hitting whoops and chasing Lauren Healy through the desert 40, 50 miles an hour. It was so much fun. Once again, want to thank Vaughn for giving me a ride. That whole day was my first time back doing any sort of serious off-roading, and being in Johnson Valley, it's not just a dirt road. Like, we were rock crawling, low range, up and over stuff, scraping skid plates, lockers, sand. There's mud out there from recent rainstorms. I mean, it was real off-roading. I had a lot of fun and felt pretty good after, so it was a good kind of putting my toe in the water to see what my body will tolerate, and I felt pretty good. So thanks again to Ford and RTR and Vaughn Gittin Jr. And before we end the podcast, I want to make sure that we get a little truck review on the Bronco freewheeling package because I haven't had a chance to get into a current non-Raptor Bronco in quite a while.
Truck review! Yeah! Rolling coal and dragging truck nuts!
All right, so it feels great to be back off-road. I've been wheeling this thing all day long, and I'm driving back to the hotel we were at, so I figured this is a great time for a truck review. So this is a 2025 Big Bend with the freewheeling package. So it's got the retro wheels and the orange, yellow, red graphic stripes down the side that kind of do the fade, and it's got that repeated on the inside of the interior as well. And I gotta tell you, I really like this thing. It's good fun. This one, I'll get in the Monroney as soon as I get off the dirt road and the highway. I'll tell you what options it has. But it goes for $58K, and it's got the Sasquatch, the 35. It's got the Bilsteins with the end stop control valves on it, which are really great. And the ride and handling is great, and it's got most of the off-road features. This one does not have a sway bar disconnect on it, but it does have front and rear lockers, trail turn assist, and the goat modes are a little bit different on this one because it doesn't have Baja on it, but it's got some other ones like sand and rock and mud and ruts and all that kind of stuff. So I've been wheeling it all day and took it over a bunch of pretty gnarly stuff. I mean, definitely stuff that the average person would not be taking their vehicle on if they got it from the showroom floor. Like Ford really let us push the limits and use the skid plates and crawl over some rocks here in Johnson Valley. Did a lot of sand, did a ton of whooped out roads, and I was pretty amazed at the fact that the Bilsteins, after miles and miles and miles of really rough whoops at like 25, 30 miles an hour, no real fade until the very, very end. There's a little bit of it as the shocks got heated up, but it was no problem. So a few things to talk about on this one, and keep in mind I have not been in a regular Bronco in a few years. Like it's been a while, and the last time I was in a Bronco was a Bronco Raptor, which is kind of a different beast. So it felt good to get back into more of the standard one, kind of more of a mainstream model. And a few of the things that I noticed were this has the new 2.3 liter 4-cylinder, and that's their new, I believe they call it the MCE family of engines, and it's really good. It's definitely peppy and torquey, and it has a great exhaust note to it. It doesn't sound wheezy or thrashy. It's got this kind of nice thrummy noise to it. I don't know if that is partially pumped into the sound system or not, since some of the manufacturers, Ford likes to do that, but I'm not a huge fan of that. But overall, driving experience is really good. I thought this was the V6 when I first got into it, and it turns out no, this is the new 2.3. So not only is this the first time that I've been in the Bronco in a while, but it's also the first time I've driven this engine. So trans, engine tuning are great, and a lot of the little things I've noticed are the fit and finish is better. The quietness of the interior is way better, and it just feels more solid. And I think they've done a nice job of kind of incrementally upgrading the Bronco. Couldn't tell you fuel economy because I only spent a portion of the day on the highway and then, of course, off-roading. So, that obviously cuts into fuel economy. But power's good. Throttle response is good, especially after the turbos get on the boil. Passing power is good. I'm not always a fan of the Turbo 4s, but this one, it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of liabilities to it when you are driving it. I never once got into a situation today where I was like, oh, gee, I wish that I could have a bigger engine. So on this particular one, this one is starts as a Big Bend 4-door, and it has the Big Bend Series package, 10-speed auto for $14.95. It's got the black painted hardtop, which is nice instead of just the raw kind of black one. It's got the freewheeling package. So let's see, the painted hardtop's $24.95. The freewheeling package, which is the graphics, the wheels, the interior additions, $24.95. This also has the black diamond package, which is $44.95. That's advanced 4x4, steel bash plates, rubberized flooring, steel front bumper, Sasquatch package 4180, which is a must-have. That's 470 gears, rear locking diff, front locking diff, 315 tires on 17-inch wheels, the Raptor-style running boards. Let's see, what else? I think that's it. So, the Fits of Sex accessory package, which is the one where you can 3D print accessories, 135, and the running boards 755. So this comes out to 58, 315, and it's listed at 17 city, 18 mixed, and 19 highway, which seems to be pretty much what I was getting. I would say that's probably pretty close to reality. I'm going to merge out on the highway here. So hopefully you can kind of hear the power there, or the engine note at wide open throttle. And it's not overwhelming. It doesn't feel like it's crazy power, but it feels way better than adequate. You could get the 4-cylinder and you would be happy. You wouldn't be wishing for more, unless you're doing things like towing and stuff like that, or really heavy. Then I would recommend the V6. But the 2.3 feels awesome. And overall, like, the Bronco is a great ride. It's got really nice highway manners. It has the big screen. The ones that have cameras are great. I love the new graphics on the screen, where it's a full digital display now, which is nice. The seats are super comfortable on it, with good lumbar and bolstering. And overall, for less than 60 grand, you get a lot of capability. And I think I proved that today on all the roads and things that I went on, and really had a chance to, especially the whoops. Like, the Johnson Valley is no joke for that kind of stuff. And I mean, we're doing miles and miles of whoops, and it hung. And there's a lot of times where I thought I was going to get into a truck gobbler or blow through something, where I kind of puckered up, and the Bronco handled it great. Part of the magic is those ESCVs, the end-stop control valves, is like an internal jounce bumper inside the Bilstein shocks. And they just mellow out that last, I don't know if it's an inch or so, but let's just say that last bit of travel, where it feels like you have a hydraulic bump stop, but without the loud engagement noise that you would get from a hydraulic bump stop. And right now I'm doing 70 on the highway, and a little bit of wind noise, but it's not bad. And this has a hardtop insulation, like headliner panels in it, so I think they learned from the competition there, and makes it look a little bit more finished. Some Broncos in the past have carpet, so I don't know why some have that and they don't, and this one has the panels. But overall, especially around the 8-pillar, the noise level is definitely noticeably improved over the last time I was in a Bronco. And then they've done a lot of smart stuff. They've got right at the base of the windshield center is a power access. You've got the 4x4 controls right above the screen on the dash, where they're in easy reach. The aux switches are above the rear view mirror, so that's super easy. And it's functional. It works well, and kind of gives you a unique driving experience. I've driven a lot of different vehicles, and what I can say is getting behind the seat, or the steering wheel and the driver's seat, and seeing what the hood view looks like, and just kind of getting a vibe for it. The Bronco feels very old school in that sense. Like, you see the high fenders on the outside of the hood bulge. The hood is a drop center, and they've got those trail sights, which can be used as tie downs on the front corner, so you know where the corner of the vehicle is. That works really well off-road, especially when you have a vehicle like this that doesn't have a front camera. That's one of the only things I think I missed. I didn't really miss the disconnecting sway bar. That's cool to have, but I would rather have a camera than the sway bar disconnect for at least what I was doing today. I thought it was totally fine. Again, seats are comfortable, glass is nice and big, visibility is good. I still think the mirrors are a little bit too far forward. Ford did it where the mirrors come off the cowl on the Bronco and aren't attached to the doors. So that way the window glass, because the doors are frameless, can go inside and makes it more compact when you pull the doors off. But they still strike me as being in kind of an odd position. I don't know. I guess you get used to it, but it's still not my favorite. Like, I don't hate it, but every time I get in, it just feels weird. Steering is nicely weighted. Brakes are totally fine. Good pedal feel. I thought today that I could use a little more throttle input. I think it would have been a little bit happier if it was a little crisper. There were times where I was really slow to kind of dip into the throttle going over an obstacle, and then it would kind of like woo. And so I felt like if it was a little bit less travel to modulate and was a little quicker, that would have been better for at least my style of driving. And I guess that's it. I mean, I'm pretty impressed. $58,000 for a really capable off-road family hauler with, this is a 4-door, and it's got the freewheeling package. So you could say, I don't want the retro freewheeling package, and save yourself some money, and then upgrade to something more functional. But all in all, as this thing sits, it's a head turner. It's cool. It looks good. It's really pleasant to drive. It's fun off-road. I thought, all the tech, the GOAT modes, I think I said it in my interview with Dave. I'm really impressed with how well Ford has those dialed in for different conditions. And so we got to test some of those today, and actually got to go through some mud today because there's still some mud out on the lake bed, and the Bronco did fine. It was never in any danger of getting stuck, even though it was a really greasy, kind of nasty mud. So anyway, that's my review. 2025 Ford Bronco, and again, this is the new 2.3 liter MCE 4-cylinder, and it fits great. I mean, it feels great. It just works well, and so there you have it. I'm going to give you guys one last full throttle run here up the hill so you can hear the engine. So here we go. And that was basically 59 to 70. So good power. And I think if you were torn between the two and you wanted the efficiency of the 4-cylinder, but the power of the V6, I don't think you would be, if efficiency was your priority, you're not going to be disappointed getting the 4-cylinder. You're not leaving a lot on the table. I think it's a great option for a lot of people. And you know what? If you need more power, Ford's got the 2.7 V6, or you step up to the Bronco Raptor and get the 3-liter. Well, all right, that's it for now. Thank you for coming along on this ride along, and guess we'll see you on the next truck review. All right, so there you have it, my day in Johnson Valley with Ford and RTR. Thanks again, guys. Thanks, Vaughn, and thanks to the team that invited me out. It was great to see Bailey and see Lauren out there and a bunch of my friends, and just get back to driving trucks and SUVs off-road again. So I really appreciated that. And that'll do it for this episode of the Truck Show Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on social at Truck Show Podcast, or hit us up on the 5-star hotline. I'm waiting for some of your calls, 657-205-6105.
The Truck Show, the Truck Show, the Truck Show, oh, oh.
And of course, you can't forget to send us your feedback. Email me, please, truckshowpodcast@gmail.com. Haven't heard from you guys. I guess you're busy. It's been pretty light on letters and voicemails lately, and I'd love to get you listeners back into the show and see what you're thinking and what you want out of this. And if you have any ideas for content, please send them my way. Also, don't forget about the Podshed Insiders. Who could forget about those guys? Join them. It's a Facebook group, so if you're on Facebook, just type in the Podshed Insiders, answer a couple questions so we know you listen to the show and you aren't a crazy person, and then be welcomed into a group of about 500 or so of the most rabid Truck Show Podcast fans. I love the group in there, and it's fun to watch you guys interact with each other. Super, super rad. Also, haven't gotten any events for next year, so please send them in. If you've got events, please get them to me, and I will get them on the website. And we have to thank our sponsors. If it weren't for them, honestly, the Truck Show Podcast would not exist, and it's so nice for them to believe in what we're doing here. So thank you, AMSOIL. If you love your vehicle, then you got to put in the best synthetics. You can get oil change kits. You can get greases, lubrication. They've got some great merch going on. Anyway, AMSOIL.com, and right now spend $125 or more and use the code Holman2025 and get the AMSOIL UTV Blocks Kit for free. So go to AMSOIL.com, get some product, make your truck happy. Also, awesome knives at a great price, especially when you use our code at kershaw.kaiusa.com. That code would be 2TSP2025, and that's 40% off MSRP and free shipping. And then last, OVRmag.com. It's the best adventure magazine out there for the everyday guy. We've got lifestyle, we've got overlanding, we've got all sorts of gear. I mean, just if you love adventure and you love doing it in your rig, then you want to go to OVRmag.com. And if you like print, you can find it at Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, or get a discount on a year of print for free using the code @TruckShowPodcast, or get a free digital subscription with the same code. So getting the show a little differently today, this time with a toast I recently heard that resonated with me, and I'm sure there's 100 versions of it, but I just heard of it. Grab your favorite beer or Dr. Pepper and raise your glass with me. Here's to cheating, stealing, and drinking. May you cheat death, steal the heart of the one you love, and drink with me. Till next time, look forward to doing it again.
The Truck Show Podcast is a production of Truck Famous LLC. This podcast was created by Sean Holman and Jay Tillis, hosted by Sean Holman, and uses production elements by DJ Omar Khan and Jay Tillis. If you like what you've heard, please open your Apple Podcast or Spotify app and leave us a 5-star review. And if you're a fan, there's no better way to support the show than by sharing it and patronizing our sponsors. Some vehicles may have been harmed during the making of this podcast.
4x4